Welcome, Engineers, to a setup video for Junkyard Juggernauts. We are going to be setting up the game and playing into the first junk golem, doing all the camp actions, playing the first junk golem. If you're not sure what Junkyard Juggernauts is, it is a game where you are going to be building a juggernaut, freeing the land, and defeating the evil warlord that has enslaved it. So you are playing as one of 4 Engineers. It's a 1 to 4 player adventure game. Today we're going to be playing as Hobart, the Wind Engineer, as well as Riviera, the Water Engineer. So we're going to have them set up in these 2 areas. Hobart will be playing with the Chonk torso or mat, and Riviera will be playing with the Twig Juggernaut torso mat. Alright, so how do we set up Junkyard Juggernauts? There's several elements, and we're going to go through them one at a time here. We just went over the Engineer cards. In addition, you also have an ability to play as Malcolm or Saffron, but we're not playing with those this time. So those are Engineer board character cards. You have the player mats, and then you have, of course, the board. You have these cube tokens that are going to be used to track your metal, which is in these areas on your player board. And we've done videos on the torsos, on the Engineer cards, and these specialization cards, as well as these charges, so go watch those videos. But let's get the game set up. So first off, we're going to take the quest cards and give them a shuffle. Probably would, I think in the instructions I actually say start with the power cards, but this is easier and we'll get them out of the way. So we'll just shuffle up the quest cards, and Junkyard Juggernauts comes with 8 different quests you can do throughout the game. You will not necessarily, you could probably play the game without doing a quest, but they are an available way to increase your power. So we'll set them in the quest area. Now we're going to go ahead and go through the power cards, which again you can watch our video on the power cards, which range from 1 base metal to 5 base metal, and 2 upgrade metal to 10 upgrade metal. And there's ones for wind, earth, water, and fire. So we'll give these a shuffle, and then we're going to create our junkyard. And I tend to like to shuffle these, so I'll do that. Alright. And do a nice cut. Alright, so to make your juggernauts, or your Galmany junkyard, which is where your characters start out at the start Galmany junkyard, you have to produce a junkyard, and it's going to be different each time. And depending on the number of players, it will be how many cards you put out in the junkyard. For a 1 or 2 player game, a solo or 2 player game, it's going to be 12 cards. For a 3 player, it's going to be 18. For 4 players, it's going to be 24. They're essentially, would it be factors? That's numbers divisible by 6. Okay, so we start by putting 1 card down face down, and then alternate a card face up. And we're going to do face down, face up, face down, face up. And for this 2-player game, 12 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's okay if it slides around, because we're producing a junkyard. It's not going to be all clean and nice. So now I lost track of how many we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And something I noticed, and you put the rest of the cards in the draw pile so you can scooch those down. We got lots of 10s here. There is a variant of the game and the New Game Plus rules where you would actually put these 10 cards underneath the golems, which I just realized we neglected to set up. I'm getting ahead of myself. So in Junkyard Juggernauts, you're going to be facing these mini bosses, these junk golems, as you attempt to find the warlord, who is the big bad at the end. Which, unfortunately, in a 2-player or 3 or 4-player game, one of the players becomes the warlord. So either Riviera or Hobart, or maybe both at some point, because the Warlord card can transfer between them, may become the Warlord. But in this version, we're not going to be playing these 10 cards underneath the Junk Golems. We're going to be playing sort of normal difficulty. So we're going to put Port Powers goes there, Swift goes here, Raise Hutch in the upper corner, and Headstone right there. In addition, we also need to set up our Potion and Warlord Power Multiplier tracker. So depending on which version of Junkyard Juggernauts you get, it'll either be a potion like this, or it'll be a cube similar to one of these. So it just depends on what you're getting. But if it's the potion, it goes into the potion slot at the 1. And then also, depending on which version you get, you'll either get a red blood drop cube like, or token like this, or a red cube. That's 10 millimeters. So if you get the red blood drop in a multiplayer game, it starts on the there's 2 1s right here. So we'll start at the top one spot on the Warlord Power Multiplier. All right, so we got those set up. Also, another part of the setup is with the Warlord card. Since one of the 2 players here will end up being the Warlord's Acolyte, we need to set up for when that's going to occur. So you take the number of players minus 1, and you take that number of cards from the draw pile. So we're playing two players, 2 minus 1 is 1. So we're going to take 1 card, and we're just going to do a quick shuffle. If you can remember which one's which, great. I now can't, so we're going to put those right there. And in the Acolyte stack below, after we've defeated any of the Junk Golems, whichever one's the first one, the players will draw from this, and one of them will secretly become the Warlord, at least for a little bit. Okay, we've done our potion, Warlord Power Multiplier, Acolyte stack, Junk pile. We have our 2 mats and characters. The Junk Golems are set out. All right, now we have to do a few more things to set up the board. First, we're going to take these tokens that look like a closed portcullis or gate. They have potions on the back side of them. There's 4. We're going to place these on the Seneschal capital. Then we're going to take these Junk Golem tokens, which also have a potion on the back. So they're going to be set up on top of the 4 cities on the Galmony map itself. So we got Headstone, Swift, Port Powers, and Raise Hutch. Then we're going to place these 4 double-sided shield tokens on the shield spot right here on the map for use throughout the game. Likewise, we're going to place these disable tokens, which have just a normal disable. They do have this 3 on it. That's just to indicate on the opposite side they count for 3 potions. But when they're on their disable side, it's just like any other normal disable, which are represented by these very similar disable tokens that only have 1 potion on the back. So we're going to put those right there. And then for your corruption tokens, which are going to go here, almost all the corruption tokens look like this with a potion on the backside. However, there is 1 corruption token that has the Orbanezer on the backside of it. The Orbanezer we'll get to later, but it essentially allows you to have 1 extra limb in your Juggernaut, or it counts as 1 extra limb. So if you find it and then cleanse this corruption to become an Orbanezer, you'd get that extra limb. So just to allow us to not know where it's at, we're going to do a little wash shuffle. And I took 7 other corruption tokens that have just the potions on the back, and I'm shuffling those around. And then I'm going to take 2 and put them in each 2 tokens and put them in each of these spots. That way, the Orbanezer is going to be in one of these. I won't know where it is, and it's going to be at the bottom of one of these, bottom of the stack. And I say stack because in each of these piles, you actually put 6 corruptions. So, and I have these prepped here, so I'm going to do 4 there, 4 on this one, 4 on this one, and 4 on this one. Now you don't have to put these here if it's easier for you to keep these off. These corruption tokens do act as a timer for the game, so when they're all out, either on the map or in people's corruption areas, then the warlord is immediately spawned, you could say, or the final confrontation with the warlord happens immediately. All right, so the specialization cards are for later. We have, I believe, the last things to put out is our character, little character standees. So we'll put one for Hobart there and one for Riviera there. And now we have set up our area for Junkyard Juggernauts. And now we can actually get into the play. So play for Junkyard Juggernauts begins with the Salvage phase. So you're going to pick a player. You can choose randomly, or you could be whoever fixed something last. Maybe you fixed a car, fixed some lunch, wherever it be, wherever the case may be. I'm going to roll just between the two characters for who goes first. We will choose between, we'll do odds for Hobart, evens for Riviera. Okay, evens, so Riviera will go first. So what Riviera will do is take essentially 6 cards. They can be the face-up ones or face-down. The only caveat to taking cards from this junkyard is that you cannot take cards that you can't, like, touch with your finger. Like, I can't pull up, like, okay, I'm going to pull up all these cards to get at this bottom one. I can't do that. If I can't touch it without moving the cards around, then you can't take it. But Riviera will get to take 6 cards. So let's say, okay, I'm going to take this wind one. Okay, this 10 one looks great. I'm going to take that one, even though it's underneath the card. I see another 10 one here. I'm just going to be stacked. So take that one. And this last 10 one, man, Riviera is going to be have so much power here. So she's gotten those. But I would like to probably have some blue cards. I don't see any out, so I'm going to just gamble and hope that this is blue. It wasn't. It's a high card, but it's not blue. Let's gamble one more time. We got no blue cards. All right. So those are my 6 cards that Riviera will have. We'll put those to the side here. And these are not necessarily ones that you will share with one another what you have. You can certainly. But at one point, one of the players will become the enemy against the other player. So you may not want to just share. Hey, look at all these great cards I got. So there's 6 cards left in the pile in a 3 or 4 player game. Play would proceed to the clockwise to the left, and then the next person gets to take 6 cards. Then whoever is last takes the last 6 cards that are here. All right, so Hobart got several green cards and one of his color wind cards. All right. So now that we have done the first salvage phase, now I move on to the second salvage phase, where you pick which cards you want to get rid of. You don't want to take. You can get rid of up to 3 cards, or if you love your hand, you don't have to get rid of any. So for Hobart, I'm probably going to get rid of these lower tier green cards because I'm thinking ahead, okay, what specialization will I want to have? I don't necessarily want to have any of the Witch Doctor, the Warden, or the Witch Doctor specializations. I'm probably going to, I'm going to go for, I'm going to go for one of the Sage or the Barbarian specialization. I think that sounds good to me. So I'm going to go for one of those. So in that case, I probably want some wind and fire, only a little bit of green though. So I'm going to essentially take the cards that have the highest upgrade value, so I could get to the highest level. If they were purple, I would also be concerned with the amplify effect. And you can see our video about amplify effects. But if they match my Mageneer, so Hobart is wind. So because the wind symbol is right here on Hobart and right here on the cards underneath these, so you can sort of match up. Okay, they're the same symbol. Let me get that really close for you. Since it's the same symbol, okay. This character can essentially is attuned to these cards, and that comes into play in a few different ways. But one of them is these amplify effects. If you were to play it, it doesn't get junked after you play it. It actually will go into your used cards, into your used amplify cards section under your player mat, and at the end of your combat, you get to put it back in your hand. Anyway, let me think here. I think because I want, again, to... I'm going to keep this one for sure. I want to build towards them with fire, so I'm going to keep that one. And then I'm just going to take the last two. I'm going to keep one. That's the highest. So it looks like this 3/6 is the highest of those. So I'm going to put these back in the junkyard, these three. Riviera... Well, I think Riviera's probably going to want... I definitely want to keep... It'd be dumb to get rid of these cards because they're all the highest cards you can get in Junkyard Juggernauts, these 5/10s, and they have this Not Today effect, which allows you to cancel any action or reaction, or amplify. So I'm going to keep those three for sure. Of these ones, I don't know what I'm going to go with. I would think I would really like to be the Commodore or the Pirate, but it's going to dictate me getting some water cards. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to... Tough. I'm just looking at the different specializations and which one I want to go with. If I want to go spec into Pirate or if I want to spec into Commodore. Commodore is good if you have Rust, which is what Riviera has. So I think I'll do this. So since I already have a wind and an earth, I think I just need another water, and I'll just keep another wind with me. And since I have a high power wind here, I'll keep that one, and I will go ahead and junk these two. All right. So, and this is just in hopes of getting these specializations. Thinking ahead, I haven't been able to. For all I know, if you're playing with other people, for all you know, the one you want to go for, another player is going to take that one. So that's just the risk, the risk you run. But okay, Riviera's keeping these 4 cards. So that means that these 5 cards, 3 from Hobart, 2 from Riviera, were put back in the junkyard. They put them back in there. Now we're going to shuffle these in with the main deck. So I'm just going to put them somewhere in the middle. And we're going to shuffle these again. Horrible shuffle. Let me try that again. A little bit better. A little quick shuffle like this. I think did I turn one over accidentally? No, okay. I see there, whoa. There's some YouTubers I watch play board games online. Shout out to Game Night and the Dungeon Dive if you ever watch this. And they could do these hand shuffles like they're like they're like machines. I'm like, I don't know how you do that. But anyway, so we just shuffled there. Now we're gonna flip face up 5 cards because that's how many we put in. So we have 1, and you can sort of put these out anywhere. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now, because Riviera got to pick first in the first salvage run, or first salvage phase, Hobart is going to get to pick first in the second salvage phase. So again, if he's maybe gearing up to be the barbarian or the sage, he's going to want probably more fire. So we'll take this one, and he gave up 3, so he's going to get. There's another wind, which he'll be able to use multiple times. So let's take that one, and we'll probably just take whichever of these looks the best. I think we'll just take this one because it's a 7. Though Fairy Aid's a good ability, and so is Mage Stone Alchemy. Let's see. Let me look one more time. I don't think any of these... Okay, there is one, if I'm the sage, that requires one water in my Juggernaut, but I don't know if that's super critical. So, you know, I will take one of these, probably just to give it up later. I will take this 2/4 fairy. All right, which leaves these last two for Riviera. So they will go to Riviera. And now we have completed the second salvage phase for Junkyard Juggernauts. Now we go into the build phase, and this is one of the funner phases where you actually build out your Juggernauts. All right, so we're going to start with building out the Juggernaut for Hobart. We'll do this one on screen. Riviera's we'll do off screen. But for Hobart, here's how we're going to build him out. First off, if we build him, let's leave the win cards out of it, for instance, just as an example. And there's a more detailed version of this building with the torsos on the channel on firejoystudios.com and also Junkyard Juggernauts YouTube channel that you can watch. So I'm not going to go too detailed into this, but just keep in mind, if I were to just build with these 4 cards, since none of their elements of water, fire, or earth match Hobart's of wind, then all of these will start on the base metal amounts. But if I build with these cards in my Juggernaut, they will start at the upgrade amounts. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm looking, let's see, Overdrive is not probably going to be a amplify that I'm going to want to reuse and reuse, so I'm going to use this one for my legs. So I'll put this one here, and I'm going to take 4 of these metal. And the first one now is going to go up into, and I'm going to just adjust real quick. Hobart, you're going to go up here, so people can see. I'm going to place this metal, this clear cube, which we call metal in Junkyard Juggernauts, is going to go in the 6th spot for your Juggernaut. Now next up, I think I do want to keep System Purge in case I get any negative effects on me, so I'm going to keep this in my hand. I think, let's see what else. So this is I could upgrade this up to a 9, so I'm going to place this as my other leg. All right, so we're going to place the cube for that at the 4 because it doesn't match me, so it starts at its base level. For arms, I think I'm just going to keep, I'm going to want an earth for what I'm going for. So we'll put this earth one up here, and it starts out at a base metal of 3. And finally, we're going to place, let's see, I'm hoping to get the Barbarian, I think. I have the wind, I need more fire. Oh, I won't be able to get, Well, maybe this one then. Let's see. So water, wind, 2 fire, 2 fire, fire. This is tough. I think I am going to go with Barbarian. So it doesn't really matter because we already have, I guess we could have 2 fire and then we could get Forge of Fire and Backdraft. So yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go with this one for my last limb, a 3. And again, because it doesn't match me, we have a metal of 3. So now we have built out Hobart's Juggernaut, which, if you want to do just some flavor text for what this Juggernaut is, base is the chunk torso, but its classification name is the Timber Class Ghost Volcano. I mean, a ghost volcano. Yeah, it's spooky magma. So watch out for that. One thing I did neglect with the Hobart character is to give him, he gets to start with a charge. So that'll go there. All right, so as we read this, this Juggernaut, this Ghost Volcano, has an attack strength of 3 + 3, That's why we have these little arrows going into the attack strength icon. So 6 attack strength is its basic attack strength, and its speed, if we have the 2 legs added up together, is 6 plus 4, so 10 speed. All right. And now we have these 2 cards still in our hand. Because we're playing as Hobart, he has a hand limit equal to the number of charge slots he has. So he can't have more than 3 cards in his hand at a time. All right, so that is Hobart. We just finished making him. And now we're going to build Riviera off screen. All right, so we just finished building Riviera's Juggernaut, and she came out with a... we decided to go with 2 wind arms, a water leg, and a earth leg. The water leg did get to be upgraded fully to its 7 metal, while the rest of the limbs were at their base level. But for flavor, her twig golem's classification is a Gale rank, a famine shark. So this shark's gonna bring a famine or something. And she has left the Mage Stone Alchemy Amplify Effect ability and the Not Today ability on the 10, which is a great sort of a trump card, so to speak. And her hand limit will be 4 because she has 4 available slots for her charges, but she doesn't start with any. She will have to do a heroic feat in order to get any charges. So I'm going to place her cards there. All right. Now, if we compare her Riviera's speed, which is 7 plus 5, 12, compared to Hobart's speed, which is 4 plus 6, 10, that means Riviera is going to get to go first. So we find her wooden cube, and which is blue, and it's going to go on the first track at the 3 fuel marker level, and then Hobart will go second. And then if you're playing with multiple people, you just go, essentially it starts with whoever is the highest speed goes first, and then clockwise. It doesn't go like second highest speed, third highest speed, fourth highest speed. No, it's just person with the highest speed goes first, then around the table clockwise is the next players. Okay, we won't need the orange and green because those are Malcolm and Saffron's. We also won't need their charges. So we're going to remove those from the table. I am going to place these blood charges for the Junk Golem and the Warlord up here. And these will just be ready for Riviera when she's ready and Hobart when he's ready. Okay. Now we've salvaged our parts after being exiled essentially to the junkyard. The main city where was our home. Dawburn, our tutor, said you gotta get out of there, get down to the junkyard, build a Juggernaut from the parts there so you can defeat these junk golems and free the land from this warlord that's attacking. So now we are ready. We've built our Juggernauts. Now we start our adventure in Galmany. So just before we start that, there's 4 main things you can do during your turn in Junkyard Juggernauts. Wherever you go, you can almost always do one of these items. And it's an acronym CAMP. So you're going to travel. Let's say you travel to here. And then each player is going to travel. Then each player is going to camp. So a camp essentially means you're going to complete a quest. You're going to augment your Juggernaut, meet the locals, or patrol the bounds. You can choose one of those to do regardless of wherever you're at. So first we're going to travel. Okay, Riviera, and I think I'm going to we're going to stay together, and our main mission right now is to defeat these junk golems, and I think together we're probably powerful enough to do one of them, so we're going to travel together. Riviera is going to go first. 1, 2, 3, because that's the max movement she has. And whenever you move, after you've traveled, you move your fuel cube down 1, not the number you've traveled, just each time you move, it's just going to go down 1 space. The number indicates the maximum movement you have. So right now it's at the 3, and I was moving Hobart, so it should have been moving Riviera's. Right now the maximum is 3. So 1, 2, 3 is the number of locations Riviera could have moved. She could not have moved all the way up here to the jungle because that's above her 3 maximum fuel limit. And if you're not sure what number you're at, there's the same number is across each row of this tracker. So if you're like, oh, where am I? Like, I can't see the number right next to me. It's just look down the same row. So we're at the 3 row right now. So Riviera can move at most 3. If she is up here at the 8, she can move, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up there if she wanted to into the Northlands. But for now, she can only move 3. So we'll move to this quest spot, and because she starts at 3, move that down 1. Hobart will want to stay with Riviera in this play run. If you're playing, you can always play separate. You can play together. It depends on what your sort of personal play style is. Do you like to stay together? Do you like to go do your own thing? You get to choose in Junkyard Juggernauts. All right, so, but Hobart's going to stay. They're going to stay together. 1, 2, 3. Now, I will point out that Hobart's torso of Chunk has an ability where he can move 1 extra location when traveling. So Hobart could have moved all the way here, but then he'd be facing the jungle by himself. So he's moving here as well. All right, so we've just hit our first, we've both traveled, we've both moved our travel trackers down. Now we camp. Okay, so at camp, you get to decide whether you're going to, again, complete a quest. So this doesn't count right now. Neither of these characters has quests. We could augment our Juggernauts, which essentially means increasing the power, the metal we have. We could meet the locals, which are all these things. Each location has its own sort of special thing that happens there. Or we could patrol the bounds, which is like fighting a beast in Junkyard Juggernauts. So what we're going to do for this time is Riviera is going to meet the locals and essentially take a quest, and Hobart is going to augment his jungle. So let's see how that plays out. So for Riviera, she is going to take a quest card, and she gets this one, the Haunted Lighthouse. Let's see if I can read it. Okay. So when you take a quest, you read out the quest, you read aloud what it says. After you and your troop prepared camp for the night, they tell ghost stories to one another. Though normally uninterested, one catches your ear. Even though the Water Fox priest returned the gold, the ghost still exacted vengeance, and Swift Lighthouse remains haunted to this day. After inquiring more, you resolve to... Okay, and so now you go down here to what you're going to choose based on this introductory quest introduction. So we could A, travel to Swift Lighthouse, which is right here. It's not marked on the map, but the little icon up here will be where you need to travel to complete the quest, and it matches this icon right there. So, travel to Swift Lighthouse and pour out 1d6 number of potions. That's what this little symbol is here. It's potions. To the Water Fox Spirit as a peace offering. The ghosts are freed and commit to help you as thanks. Play this artifact. And if we were to play an artifact, it would go underneath our card somewhat like this. So we would just place it right here. That's why it says artifacts this way. And then we get this ability, whatever it is. In this case, it'd be an extra action we get to take. But that's only if we take the heroic A option, or we could choose the B option, which we could do right now, or we get to the Swift Lighthouse and we don't have enough potions, we take the B option. Sleep, nightmares cause -1 metal and +1 corruption spread, and then discard this card. So Hobart is going to, for right now, because he doesn't, I just realized is Riviera. Riviera is going to, would normally try to fulfill this quest. However, she is going to have to fight this Juggernaut with, fight this one right here with Hobart. And when you fight a Junkalum, you lose, you have to take the B option for wherever the quest is. So unfortunately, we'll just go ahead and do it now. Sleep, nightmares cause -1 metal. So we'll take it from her right leg. So it just goes down 1. If I can get it in the spot, there we go. So now it's gone from 7 down to 6. And then it causes 1 corruption spread. And then we're going to discard. And I'm going to put the discards usually go here, but because of the table space, I'm going to put them down underneath right here. All right. So corruption spread is you roll a die, and we're going to do this after we both Hobart and Riviera camp. But you roll, and then you're going to, if it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you're going to place a corruption token on the corresponding spot location on the map. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we rolled a 6, which means no corruption spread, which is great. But let's say 4 was rolled. Then we would take a corruption token. And I misspoke before. You don't place it on the spot, but you place it on a road next to that spot that does not already have a corruption. So we would place it right up there on that road connecting. It's a little hard to see, but connecting Port Powers to the next location, which is a village. Okay. So, but again, we rolled a 6, so no corruption is spread. So fantastic. Okay, so that is all of Riviera's turn. Now, Hobart is going to augment his Juggernaut. So, depending on which version of the game you have, you'll either have one of these little cards that has the amplify rolls and augments on it, or you'll have a card that looks like this that has the same information on it. That's different from the player aid card. Okay, but we have this little board. So what we're going to do is, if we're anywhere, we're going to do the top side. If you're on villages when you augment, you're going to do this side. Essentially what this is you're going to roll 2d6. You're going to take the highest and subtract the lowest, and that's how much metal you get. That's your augment. So let's do that. We're going to roll 2 dice. All right, so this was not a great augment, but we would essentially take 4 minus 3, and that equals 1 metal. So we get to adjust our metal by 1. Now, all our limbs are able to be upgraded right now. The only one that can't be is our leg, because it's already at 6, because when we start with Hobart, he gets to automatically upgrade his wind limbs, so it starts at 6, but all the other ones can still have room to upgrade. So I'll give myself a little bit more attack strength and increase my left arm by 1. And it's still right above my leg, so it's not overweighted my leg. I can't ever have my metal of my arms, though, be higher than my legs. All right, so it's at 4 there. All right, so that's my augment. In addition to when you augment, you get to move your fuel up 2 spaces. And you unfortunately have to take a corruption spread. So we're going to roll again. All right, now this time we got 3. So we're going to take a token, find 3, and the road touching Ray's Hutch is right here. This trail is actually for a future expansion of Junkyard Juggernauts, and these brown trails, corruption is never put on these. It is only the dashed roads. So corruption goes there. Now we have both camped, and now we do an overnight corruption spread. When all the players have taken their camp actions, it's the night happens and corruption spreads. So we roll, and we rolled a 2, and so a corruption token comes out near 2. And where to place it, if you're like, which road do I place it on? Typically, what I like to do, you can choose. It doesn't have to be exact, but I tend to thematically have the corruptions spreading towards Seneschal, the capital. So whatever road sort of gets there the fastest, that's the one I have corruption go to. But you can place it on any of the roads that are next to it. And sometimes there isn't a direct path, so you have to go up and around, and that's totally fine. Okay, so we've done our overnight corruption spread, and now we're going to do now we're in the next turn, and we're going to travel again. Okay, like we said before, we're sort of thinking that Riviera and Hobart are wanting to work together, so they're both going to go to this Junkolum Swift and try to free the land of, or the city of Swift. And what happens in that will be for the next video. So come back and we'll do fighting the Junkolum in Swift. Thanks for watching. Remember, I'm not the warlord. Godspeed, Mageneers.